All right. I see we are live. Okay. Hang on. Let me do one thing here since I have just gone live. I have to put on my cheater glasses. I can't see too much of anything anymore. Okay, that worked. Oh my goodness. Now for the okay, it's working. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. This is Nomad Prepper 2, otherwise known as Tony D. Glad you have joined me today. Let me get a quick sip of drink here. I have to say, there's more train derailments besides what has happened in Pennsylvania. That was just starters. There have been four other train derailments around the country. If you tried to share the video I did last Wednesday, I am sorry. YouTube has taken it down. I did not receive a strike, however, it was a warning for misinformation. Now, it seems like they're always trying to find a way to give you a strike or take us down for misinformation. So, I do want to state right here before I even get started, anything I say on this channel is my opinion. If you believe that what I say is false, for you to please do your own research on these matters. You will find out the truth doing your own research. And like I say, this could be fiction, this could be nonfiction. That is for you to do the research to find out what is fact and what is fiction. So, let's see here. It seems awful strange that during that railroad derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, that nobody of real importance has been to that site or spoken to the citizens that live there in East Palestine, Ohio, or Palestine, however you want to say it. And guess who showed up there today? Oh, I don't hear anything, don't see anything, but I will tell you President Donald Trump, our great President Donald Trump, had shown up today in East Palestine, Ohio. He spoke with the governor and many of the citizens that live there in East Palestine, Ohio. He is the only real, true person with any kind of authority, I should state, that has been to East Palestine or East Palestine, uh, Ohio. Now, I don't know what I just did, but excuse me a second, because um, I have just opened up a little nodule on my hand. Don't know what it was. I had an itch. I itched it. What happens when you itch an itch? You start to bleed. And I'm on Eliquis because of the surgery I had done on my leg back in the last week of October. Please forgive me for that. All right, to get back to what I was talking to. Now, Donald J. Trump said that he is going to see what he can do to further get to the bottom of what has happened and find out why the citizens that live in East Palestine, Ohio, have not gotten the proper assistance that they need. Now, going through what I have heard and seen here on YouTube from people that are there, they did get and set up a temporary clinic, a hospitalization center, but there's only nurses there and no doctors. They only take your information, but do not give you any kind of treatments. And they just take your information and they send you back on your way. I think this is wrong. This is very, very wrong. I think we, the American people, need to protest and go after these government officials, such as Pete Buttigieg, or however you pronounce his name. He knows nothing about transportation. Maybe that's the problem. He got lost trying to figure out how to get to East Palestine, Ohio, because he hasn't shown up. And he's the head of the Department of Transportation. Apparently, he must have got lost. Doing what? Who knows? We don't know. It's the only male I know that gets to take a paternity leave. And I don't care what your sexual preference is. It's wrong that you are not doing the job that you are supposed to be getting paid for. So why are these people even in office? Oh, I see. I get it. Potato Head Joe. Oh, here's a good one. He was in Warsaw, Poland. And guess what? When he was going up the steps to board his plane, he fell going up the steps again. Oh, man. This man isn't fit to be president. And we all know that it was a unfair election, as I will state. That's my opinion. But to get back to this train derailment, first off, they should have never drilled holes in these dangerous chemical containers, these tankers, because there was only one tanker that was actually, how should I say, leaking, and it was heating up. But there was another way that they could have gotten that chemical out of that tanker. By them drilling holes in these tankers and starting them on fire, they released chemicals that were used in World War I to go against the soldiers that they were fighting against, to choke them out or kill them. This is not the proper way of getting rid of these chemicals. As far as them saying, oh, one of the tankers was heating up and it could have got so hot it could have exploded, sending shrapnel over a mile away. This is true, but if they would have sprayed it down with foam and they would have kept watering it down and keeping it cool, it would not have exploded. So by lighting that on fire, what did they do? Well, they released these toxic gases into our atmosphere. By them releasing these toxic gases into the atmosphere, it has killed animals, people's pets, children, and adults getting sick throughout over a 10-mile radius of that so-called contained fire that they started. It has killed all kinds of fish life, wildlife. It has contaminated the soil. And this is not just in the local area, people. You can now consider it contaminated over a third of the United States, maybe even more, because you have all these little inlets that come off of the Ohio River, all these little creeks that spring off of the Ohio River, all this water that is going from the Ohio River that is going into now the Mississippi River, and the Mississippi River down to and into the Gulf of Mexico. Is this good? No, no way, shape, or form. Because now it is poisoning all kinds of farmlands, and it has rained all over in that area. It showed a black plume of this chemical all the way from Ontario, Canada, down through New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and so on and so forth, all the way through from the Ohio River. You can follow it on a map from the Ohio River, all these little side channels and creeks, all the way to the Mississippi, from the Mississippi all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico, which is going to kill off our sea life, our aquatic life, if you want to call it that, and do a lot of killing of birds, insects, animals, livestock, people, your pets, your children. This is an Armageddon in its own. Now, there's a lot of talk about, was this a cover up for something else? It seems that in that area, within a 100-mile radius of that area, that they want to put a chip producing plant there in Ohio. Well, in order for them to put that chip producing plant there in Ohio, they have to mine for cobalt. Cobalt is there in Ohio going into the state of Pennsylvania. They have to do a lot of moving of land to get into the ground to mine for that cobalt. Was this planned? I don't know. It seems awful suspicious to me. That's my opinion. I don't know how you people feel about this, but it seems a little fishy to me that they say that they could get 70,000 people jobs in this area and all this stuff, but yet they contaminate a good third of our country. Would you drink the water? Even if you have a well on your property in that area, would you drink that water? As for myself, no. There are people that live there that said that after that happened, they left the town and they are never, ever going back. Everything there is contaminated. You have soil contamination, water contamination. All the farms where farmers produce food and corn crop, all the way from Ontario, Canada, down into the state of New York, Pennsylvania, and into Ohio, their waterways, their lands have all been contaminated. Would you be eating the fruits and vegetables that are coming out of that area now, since everything in that area has been contaminated? You're talking over a 1,000-mile circumference just around East Palestine, Ohio. No, I'm not talking about the waterways that go from the Ohio River all the way to the Mississippi River, and from the Mississippi River into the Gulf of Mexico. How many people are going to end up getting cancer and dying because of these chemicals that are hazardous to every species known on this planet Earth? You know, I don't understand why the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, has not done more to investigate. And not only the Norfolk Railroad and the state of Ohio, but how about our United States government? What's more important to our government politicians right now? Well, it seems that it's Ukraine and this World War III event. Instead of the people, we the people, here in the United States of America. Apparently, by them destroying our own land here in this country, they don't care. They care more about their World War III in Ukraine and Russia than they do about the people that live in our own country. As we see, as they continue to let in hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants to come into the United States from the Mexican border and now from the Canadian border as well. You not only have people that are, how should I say, besides illegal immigrants, because you have people of all faiths coming across into our country, including Asians. So you have Asians coming across, you have all these different people, Nicaragua, Mexicans. I mean, there's just people that are flowing into our country, and our government is just letting them come in. Like, who's taking care of these people? Our government's supposed to be taking care of these people. They blame Governor Abbott about sending them to New York City in buses. And what did they do in New York City? They shipped them up into Canada. All these sanctuary states, they're supposed to be taking care of these people, and now they're shipping them up into Canada. Why? I mean, in one aspect, I say, yeah, we don't want them here. They don't want to come into this country the legal way, file for a visa, and work in this country. They don't want to work. They just want the freebies from our government. And where are these freebies coming from? You and me, the United States, the American, we the people, taxpayers. We're paying for them to be fed. We're paying for them to get free phones. We're paying for them to live in these luxury hotels that some of us could only wish that we could stay in, maybe 1 or 2 days, let alone every single day. And what are they doing? Oh, they're having fights in these hotels, motels, whatever. They're getting drunk. They're having sex in the hallways. Probably rapes. All these crimes being committed, these hotels being destroyed. And what are they doing? They're throwing away the food that's being provided to them. Oh, they said they don't like the food. Well, you know what? If they don't like the way things are being done for them here in the United States, our government should gladly send them right back to Mexico. You don't like what we're doing for you? You don't need to be here. Period. That's my opinion. We didn't ask these people to come here. Potato Head Joe Biden had no right to open up our borders. Why aren't more people protesting? Well, I don't see people walking around with pitchforks, bats, rakes, shovels, firearms. I don't see people protesting and complaining about this. Why? Why is nothing being done? Is everybody just going to sit back and let these things continue to happen? You got Bozo Potato Head Joe Biden going ahead and talking about, oh, I just got 512,000 new jobs. Go, bull crap. They're not new jobs. People who got laid off at their full-time jobs are looking for other jobs to get part-time just to make ends meet. And they're the same people that have been working. There are no new jobs. People in this country, especially the younger generations now, don't want to work. They feel that they should get everything for nothing. And then you take a person like myself. Now, I've been disabled since 1994, but I still worked. I still did jobs to make ends meet. Now I'm on Social Security. Now I have health issues, but I still try to find work to do when I can, if at all possible. But these illegal immigrants and the younger generations today, they don't want to work. They just want to sit back, stay in their mama's basement like Potato Head Joe did, and play their video games and just eat and drink and do nothing. When's the day going to come when your mom and pop pass away and you no longer have a place to live? You no longer are being fed by mom and dad. Then what do you do? Are you going to mooch off of friends? I had a friend that did that. He mooched off of me quite a few years. Oh, he was a neighbor. He was a good friend. It got to the point where he owed me way too much money. Over the years, it adds up. When I asked the person for the money, oh, geez, man, guy never wanted to work. I got him jobs at certain taverns. Got him one good job at a tavern. Guess what? He screwed that job up. And he stole from the owners of the tavern. To me, not even knowing that, I went to that tavern one day to have a beverage. The owners of that tavern were pissed at me. They didn't even want me in their tavern. What are you doing here? I was like, what do you mean? I've come in here all the time. Oh, you're the one that we took your advice on hiring so and so. Well, that has nothing to do with me. The guy used to be a good bartender. I didn't know he was going to steal from you. That's not my fault. But I lost a lot of good friends because of that guy. And I finally woke up one time, especially when I was renting a home to own. The guy was like this younger generation. All he wanted to do was sit around and do nothing but talk on the phone, watch soap operas, or whatever the heck he was doing while I was off working. He never had money for his share of the rent. So I had thrown him out of that house, and I lost that house because of his ignorance and not having any responsibility. I have responsibility. Our government officials have responsibilities to we, the people, here in the United States. By our government officials not protecting and defending the citizens of this country, they do not belong in our government. They should all be thrown out of our government. You can even look at Mitch McConnell and see how he has changed over the last few years. Now he sides more with the Democrats than he does with his own Republican constituents and the people that he works for in his state. These people need to be out of our government. We need new blood. We need politicians in our government that will work for we, the people. There's too many of these politicians that are getting paid under the table by these big money companies and these elites so they can get what they want and screw we, the people, over. Now you have this bunch of crap going on between Ukraine and Russia. If Russia was so big and bad, why didn't they just go in and take over Ukraine already? I mean, this is looking to me like another Vietnam. I know because I was there in Vietnam. They'd let our soldiers go so far and take so much ground. And then at the end of the day, we'd back up to where we first started. And then the next day, we would do the same thing all over again. And then have to go back to where we first started. Pursue and then retreat. Pursue and then retreat. What happened to the good generals like we had, General Patton? Now you have mealy mind Milley, General Milley, who does not, he should have been thrown out of our military a long, long time ago. You have people in our government that are doing nothing to help the American people. Now, why is that? Because they don't care about you and me. They're getting paid too much money. It's time we push for the term limits. It's time that we tell our government, you're not getting paid 174,000 and better a year. You're not worth it. You know why they're not worth it? Because they're not doing anything for we, the American people, here in the United States. They work 126 days a year, and they do not do what they're supposed to do for we, the people, here in the United States. These elites and the big money corporations, oh, yeah, these politicians are bending over backwards. Some are probably taking it in the old butt for these payouts. This needs to stop. It needs to end. And you know, I'm going to tell you, it's not looking good for we the people. Now you have these train derailments, not only in East Palestine, Ohio. You have these train derailments in Spartanburg. Let me look at my notes here. What little bit of notes I do have. Give me a second here. Yeah, Spartanburg, South Carolina. You had a train derailment in Houston, Texas. You have a train derailment in California. And I don't know where the heck the other one is at. But you also have tractor trailers that are hauling tankers that have accidents. Apparently, those are the ones that are being taken care of, and they're not lighting them on fire to contaminate the whole area. I don't know what's going on, but this is happening way too often. Why I say that? It's kind of like, it's kind of like all these chicken factories and egg factory plants, all these fires, right? All these food processing plants that are having these fires. All of these different refineries that are here in the United States that have had these fires and had shut down. Now, I don't know about you people, but as far as I'm concerned, this is all being done by plan. Are you aware of the things that are going on in this country and outside of this country? You have China warships that are around Hawaii. You have China warships that are on our Pacific coast outside of California. You have Russian ships and submarines that are on the east coast of the United States. Are you ready for an invasion here in the United States? Is this going to be a Red Dawn event here in the United States? This is all possibilities, people. Now, I noticed that not all stores are having food shortages here lately. But instead of food shortages, what's happening? Oh, these stores are closing now. You have Walmart stores closing all over in the United States. They claim it's because they have too many things being stolen from these stores. I call bullcrap. You have Target stores now closing around the United States. I call that a bunch of bullcrap. We're not having shortages. The animation and all of this robotic stuff that's going on in Walmarts, they're changing it all. They're going to make it that you have to make an appointment to pick up items that you're going to purchase at your Walmart store. You'll have to put in an order, and then they'll tell you what time you can go pick up your items at Walmart. When I was in my local Walmart, which serves roughly 1,500 to 2,000 people, I live out in the country. It's not a big super center. It's a regular store. I walk in there now and I'm totally lost because they moved everything all over into different areas. And it is set up like a factory inside. And I asked one of the Walmart employees, what the heck is going on here? Why'd they change everything? I can't find anything anymore. Oh, well, it's supposed to be easier and faster for people that want to put an order in and pick up their orders. Don't you like to pick out your meat, whether it be chicken, pork, steaks, beef, anything, your vegetables? Don't you want to pick your own vegetables, your own sources of food that you like by the look at it? Why do you want someone else to pick your food, put it in a basket or a box for you to pick up at the curb of a Walmart store? I'd rather pick my own food to know what I'm getting. And if you look at the stickers on these objects that you're purchasing, how many of them, whether it be, say, brownies or cookies or pumpkin pie or anything like that, how many of those items have you noticed on a label it says bioengineered? I'm sorry, I'm not into bioengineered food. But yet they got it all over the place and they expect you to buy it without even looking at the labels to know what's in that food. Same with your products that you're buying now. Whether it be breads, whether it be cereals, all these different items now, you have to check the labels and read the labels. If they have a label on them stating if you're allergic to shellfish and this and that and all this other stuff, trust me, you do not want that food. That food contains crickets and things of that nature. Why am I against that? Well, there's a there's a part of a cricket that's called chilite, something like that. And you can do your own research on this. But that part of the cricket is a part of the body of a cricket that when you eat it, it gets into your intestinal tract. It does not, your stomach does not digest that chillet or chilet, however you want to say it. It does not pass it through your system. It lodges in your intestinal tract and it causes cancer. Well, let's see here now. That's from crickets. And there's no way to separate that one item from a cricket. That's part of the cricket. So let's see. They are ruining your food by putting insects, chemicals, anything you could think of that isn't good for you. Let's see, our government officials and other people in this country are, I'm going to say, awful suspicious to me that we have all these different train derailments, all these different factories, food processing plants that we're having all these different fires at, all these chicken manufacturing plants that are having fires, egg producing plants that are having fires. Like I said, oil refineries that have had fires, planes, private planes running into these different factories and food processing plants. Seems awful strange that all of a sudden all these different things are happening that normally weren't happening. Now they say that usually there'd be like 10 different manufacturing plants a year that would have fires at these plants. But there's been a lot more than that just in the last few months. If you're talking 10 a whole year, they superseded it over 100% already. Culling of all these chickens because of some suspicious bird flu. Then they were culling all these pigs because of a swine flu. Now they contaminated the land to cause contamination of vegetables through a good third of our country. Think about the livestock, the pets that you have. You consider your pets part of your family. You take care of them, they love you, you love them. And they just go out to do their business and then they don't come back. And you do a search for your pet and you find it deceased, dead in your grass. Same with chickens, rabbits, wildlife, your horses, your cows, your pigs, all these different animals now that are now dying off because of these chemicals that are in the air. How many people are dying from these chemicals that are in the air? Is this part of the World Economic Forum's way of reducing the population? Because our politicians really don't care if we are dead or alive. Do a little research and look for the World Economic Forum's politicians, United States politicians that are involved with the World Economic Forum. You're going to be surprised, people. There's a list as long as my arm. Oh, excuse my phone ringing. There's a list as long as my arm of politicians here in the United States that are all part of the World Economic Forum. Do your research. Just do a search on Google. You're going to be shocked. And it's not just the Democrats. There's Republicans in there as well. So are these things happening on purpose? Excuse me. Is our government trying to kill us off? Is this another reason that they are trying to take away our Second Amendment rights? I mean, if you've listened to Stalin or any of them other ones, control the food, you control the people. It's gotten way further than that now. Because not only is it control the food, control the people, now they're trying to control your religion as well. Has anyone noticed how all of a sudden the atheists today have a stronger voice than the Christians in this country? Has anyone noticed how schools, not all, but some schools around the United States are having projects? They call them craft projects, after school projects, and it is about Satan worshiping. Now, it's bad enough we had Satanist statues outside of courthouses, which I see the reason for that, because a politician will not tell the truth, or not a politician, an attorney will not tell the truth no matter what. They're there to protect their client, whether they are right or wrong, just to make them not guilty. So is that Satanistic? I'd say, yeah, it is. Because they're not telling the truth. This country has changed quite a bit just in the last 20 years. It has made a drastic change since, I'll go back further than that. You go back to the September 9/11 situation. Now you got all these conspiracy theorists saying, oh, no, the planes didn't hit that and this and that. And let me tell you firsthand, yes, there were two planes that hit both towers. Should things have happened the way they happened? Well, I don't know. You can even ask Angry Prepper that lives right there in New York City that was a fireman or EMT. And he even states to this day, something just wasn't right about that whole situation. Was it animation? No, it wasn't. Or did two planes hit those twin towers? Yes. The reason for those buildings to collapse, that seems a little strange to me. Something just, and I just got a real weird feeling in my stomach, but something just isn't right about that. the way I look at it today. Back then when it happened, I seen the thing happening live on TV, and I was in a pharmacy. And I says, "What's that? Some new movie or something? It looks real as hell." "Oh no, that did happen." "What? Holy crap!" What did I do? I went home, got my weapons, got my ammo together. I thought it was a Red Dawn event. But we may have a Red Dawn event for real here in this country. This country has not been the same since that event. Now, I don't know about you, but a lot of things have gotten pretty bad here in the United States. We no longer have freedom in this country. Have our government that's controlling our food, controlling our lives, basically. Because there's no longer the jobs that we used to have that are available. During that COOF C-19, that totally destroyed this country. As far as the people, as far as being employed, as far as having any trust in our government. Because we definitely do not have trust in our government anymore. And why should we? What have they done for we the people? Oh, well, I see they're trying to push that tax credit again to release more checks to people. More tax credits to the people. More money to the people. The people with families. How about the people that don't have families? How about the senior citizens? Oh, you told us, Bozo Biden, you told us during your election campaign for president, oh, you were going to guarantee that we were all going to get $200 more a month. Well, that didn't happen. Social Security is still at risk. They talk about it, but they keep on kicking the can down the road. Nothing gets done. And what's happening to us senior citizens? Oh, we're struggling. Trust me, I'm struggling. If I was to get an extra $200 a month, trust me, that would help me out tremendously. Not going to help me pay off debt. It may give me a little bit more food to eat. Ease up the pains at the pump. Oh, where's that reduction in gas prices? I don't know about you people, but I'm paying $3.50 a gallon where I'm at. It was $3.60 what? 6 months ago? And Biden says, oh, that's why he's selling the oil reserves to China to reduce our gas prices. Well, our gas prices are getting right back up there again. So that was a no help. Everything else is high. Everything keeps on going higher. Your everyday person, I don't care if you're working a full-time job or not. There is no American dream left. You have no money to purchase a home. You have no money to purchase land. And any savings that you did have is gone. I'll tell you that right now, firsthand. I know I had a possibility of getting a home before this C-19 crap started. A home that I found, was ready to move into, and yeah, what happened? Oh, a mortgage company I was working with screwed up. Rate to income numbers didn't work out right. So I lost out on that home. Went to look at other homes, and all of a sudden, boing, it was like overnight. They tripled in cost. All homes tripled in cost. instead of purchasing a home for $65,000, that same home now went for $165,000. That put me out of reach of purchasing a home for myself. And I'm not the only one who can afford to rent a house or an apartment. You're paying a minimum of $800 and up to $2,000 just to rent a house or an apartment today. How are you making ends meet? When I could have had a home for, say, $450 a month as my mortgage. Not anymore. That forced me into buying an RV. It's a 45-foot toy hauler. I'm still paying on it for a few more years yet. But it's all I have to live in right now because I cannot afford a home. And any homes that aren't in decent, reasonable price, these property owners around here, they want cash money. They don't want to do a rent to own. And all these rent to owns that they have out on the market today, well, they're all scams. Oh, you got to use our debt consolidation. What if I don't have a debt consolidation problem? Oh, well, then they don't send you any homes to look at or to even purchase. That's another scam in its own. You have companies like BlackRock, Vanderbilt, all these big money companies. They're not helping we the people at all. They're buying all these homes and properties so you can't get it. It's as bad as Bill Gates buying up all that farmland. He's not doing nothing with the farmland. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, he is. He's starting bug farms, insect farms. Isn't that nice? We have people that have all this money who could live a good life, and instead, what do they want to do? They want to buy up this land that's intended for you and me so we could live our life and have the freedoms that we want. And yet, these elites in our government is taking it all away from you. You will own nothing and eat the bugs and be happy. No, I don't think so. There's going to be a time that I am going to get the opportunity to get a piece of property. And when I get a piece of property, it's going to be mine. And when I do have that piece of property, it will not have no HOAs or anything like that involved in it. Because that's another scam. You buy a house with some property, and guess what? Got an HOA attached to it, and you got somebody else trying to tell you what you can and cannot do on your property. I don't think so. If I'm buying the property, I'm doing what I want to do with my property. Ain't nobody going to tell me what I can and cannot do with my property. No HOAs for me. Thank you very much. I will stay with pursuing my path of getting property. It'll come. I have a guy that keeps on calling me, wants me to buy his house and property that he has. It's not too far from me. I'm just trying to get my financial situation situated. But people, you got to look into these things. Our government is not for we the people. They're all for themselves. They're all padding their pockets so that they continue to have more money so they can continue to build their huge bunkers underground or wherever because they know something big is coming. Now, another thing, we also have our North and South Pole which is in a shifting process right now. Our inner core of the earth, that spins with the circulation of earth. Well, that's been freezing up lately. They say that it's going to do a reversal. Now, people are in all kinds of awe on that because it's like, oh no, pole reversal. Oh, there's going to be tsunamis. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. No, it's not. Pole reversals would be a magnetic pole reverse. When your compass points south instead of north, then you know we went through a pole reversal, because that needle that normally points north will be pointing south instead. That's magnetic. That won't cause tsunamis. And as far as all these different, politicians talking about climate change and all this other stuff, well, that's a bunch of crap too. You have over 26, 28 actually active volcanoes right now around the world that are producing more toxic gases and sulfuric gases into the air than any manufacturing plant around the world. Oh, well, wait a minute. We got to take that back, because now we have the train derailment that just contaminated a third of our country. With more pollutants, it's going to kill off people, children, animals, fish, polluting your waterways. Oh, isn't that just great? And then you have people like Bill Gates that are telling you, oh, well, there's going to be another virus coming out here, and I can give you an exact date. Well, yeah. If you can give us an exact date, you must have something to do with releasing that new virus you're talking about. Why isn't he put in jail? Oh, he's part of the World Economic Forum. Well, these people in this World Economic Forum should be arrested, sent to Guantanamo Bay. If not, how come we, the people, aren't going after these politicians that are corrupt? Years ago, even before the Civil Wars, there was politicians that would battle against each other in Congress, in the Senate. I mean, physical, fist to cuff. We don't see that anymore. And you don't see people protesting like they used to. Even in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, there was people that used to protest around the White House. All through D.C. People aren't doing it anymore. What do you got, a bunch of scaredy cats out here today? You might as well just bend over and take it up your butt, because apparently that's what's happening. You people got no balls anymore. What's the matter with you people? You need to wake up. You can't keep accepting everything the government is dishing out. They're supposed to be working for you as well as myself, not for the elites. They're supposed to be working for you and me. They're taking away our freedoms, our rights. Look at this social media platform that I'm on right now. We don't have many rights here because YouTube is regulating what we can and cannot say. Now, if this channel gets pulled and I get a strike, you'll find me on American Freedom Fighters here on YouTube next Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. If I don't get a strike, I'll be right here on Nomad Prepper 2. As the train's going to blow my ears out here. I'm waiting for this damn train to fly by. They don't fly by. But I got to put up with that crap. That's why I want to get out of here. It's driving me nuts. Been here 7 years, too long. Anyway, people, time to grow a set of balls. It's time to wake up. It's time to put your bugs' ears into these politicians. Call or protest in front of their offices, your capitals, your courthouses. People, you need to start protesting. Antifa and Black Lives Matter. How come you people are getting your way to do what you want to do? What happened to the American people? What happened to our spirits? What happened to our freedoms? Wake up, or you will no longer have freedom. You're losing it every day. We're losing it on these social media platforms. We don't have our freedom of speech. And now we got a government trying to take away our Second Amendment right that says shall not be infringed. But boy, they're trying to infringe any way they can. We need to abolish the ATF. We need to abolish the NFA. We need to abolish the DOD. We need to abolish the EPA because they're not protecting us people either. Everything needs to be redone the way it should be with people that can be trusted. Apparently, there's no more trust in anything in this country anymore, as well as our government. We must demand honest, truthful elections again. No drop boxes, no illegals voting. Go back to the old machines that you'd pull that lever across and it would close a curtain behind you, and then you'd flip the switches on which candidate you wanted. They were true perforated ballots for who you voted for, and then they would count the ballots. These electronic things reading your ballot, they're all being fraudulently manipulated. We don't need a bozo like we have as president and all these other people that do not belong there. People, it's time to wake up, or we will not have a country left. We do not have our freedom to choose what we want or where we want to work. We don't have our choice of purchasing a home. We're losing our liberties. We're losing our freedoms daily now. I guess I'm past my 1 hour mark because my signal strength, according to YouTube, has dropped down to just a few bars. So on that note, people, this is my opinion. Once again, you could do what you want to do, but I would suggest stocking up on food, stocking up on ammunition for your firearms. Pray up, prep up, get your water. Because if you don't get your water and things like a N95 gas mask, because if these chemical spills and things continue to happen, you're going to need an N95 mask to protect you. Otherwise, you could die from these poisonous, toxic chemicals. Pray up, prep up. God bless y'all. God bless America. People, wake up. Get the items you need now. Prices are going to go up another 10 to 50% by June. They're already predicting it. And they're closing stores to make it harder for you to get the items that you need. Once again, if I get a strike on this channel, I will be on American Freedom Fighter here on YouTube. If not, I will be here at Nomad Prepper 2. Next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Come join me and enjoy my chat. Get involved. Don't be afraid to chat with me. We can get into some good conversations here. It's time to wake up, people. And the more each day goes by, remember, time waits for no one. Have a good night, y'all. This is Nomad Prepper 2. Out for now.